I always want to praise Peter Dutton for holding the line on China. I know the pressure that is on him, including internally inside the Liberal Party, the great belief that there's 1.2 million Australian voters of Chinese descent, and they punished the previous government at the election and particularly went after the Liberal Party because they were hard on China. Now, that must be because they were getting a different message than what was actually being said. Remember, Scott Morrison and Peter Dutton said nothing about the people of China. It was about the government of China. A government of China that, of course, as you know, wants to take Taiwan back and say it's not a separate country, punishes even chocolate bar makers like Snickers who had to apologise when they call it a separate country, who start to buzz Australian aircraft when we fly over international waters that they claim are Chinese waters because they built islands on the other side of the waters. No, you have to hold the line here, and Peter Dutton is absolutely clear. He is not changing his stance whatsoever on the threat of the Chinese government. Chinese people welcome in the country. Join the club. And as you know, there are 0 refugees that go to China from Australia. There are about 3,500 last year that come from China. So we know which one is the good guy here. And Peter Dutton is not going to bend on this, nor should he.
The Chinese Communist Party has been very clear about their intent in relation to Taiwan, and nobody's exaggerating, nobody's making this up, and if we want to be frank and honest, then that's better than a model of appeasement. And I've always believed that the only way that we can maintain peace in our region is if we call out bullying behaviour and bad practice, and if we do that, we can have a prevailing peace and we can have a normalised relationship with China.
The same, of course, can't be said for Greens leader Adam Bandt, who appeared on Evil Sky News today to say this.
But is it also important to note where the unjustified aggression is coming from? On one hand, we had the US Speaker, not actually a government representative, but the Speaker of the House, Nancy Pelosi, merely visit Taiwan, and the reaction was large-scale military operation, military exercises, I should say, around the Taiwanese island. I mean, the outlier there is the Chinese government aggression, is it not?
How the US wants to conduct its foreign policy and manage its relationship with China is obviously a matter for them. Australia has an interest in seeing that relationship managed well, and not only for Australia's domestic security interests and our own national security, but also because the big challenges that the world is facing, including the climate crisis. There's also talks about China now potentially suspending its cooperation on climate issues. This is why Australia should play a role together with other powers. But as Australia, as a country that has a relationship both with the United States and China, is in a good position, working together with other countries to de-escalate and to.
Oh, that dude, the secret co-prime minister of Australia. Remember, nothing can happen in the Senate without their approval. Oh yeah, it's kind of America's fault and we need their cooperation on climate change. Well, as you know, under the Paris Agreement, China can continue to pollute all the way till 2030, and at their tippy top in 2030, when we've cut by 43%, that's when they start getting measured. Their net zero, by the way, is 2060, not 2050. But, you know, they're part of the solution, please. They're the problem right now, let alone internationally, when it comes to safety or a sovereign nation being a sovereign nation. This bloke prides himself on speaking truth to power. Well, strap a pair on, Adam, and say that Taiwan is a country all on its own. Put a Taiwanese flag behind you. We know you don't like the Australian one.